Okay, this is Sylvia Lydia Morelos. I'm having technical difficulties with the stuff that I'm doing right now. And this is testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is a laptop that I'm using at the library, and there was interference earlier. This was not too much interference before. Sylvia Lydia Morelos. This is the 30th of September at 5:33 p.m. Please excuse the technical difficulties. I've can only use, I think, like 12 minutes that I can record on these segments, and I've been trying to record something, and the first couple of times I can see the difference. It was the interference with the technology. That I've had interference with my post online before, video included, and they keep turning off at certain points. Whenever I speak about the Sacramento Downtown Project and the San Diego Downtown Project, it turns off, and that happened twice. So this third time, it's a coincidence, my ass, sorry. And it's just, oh look, she made a mistake. That's exactly what happened, to discredit me from what I was doing earlier. And I will record what I was recording earlier, but let me make this a really quick rundown. During the Second World War, Nazi Germany, I was making reference to something in San Diego to white supremacists, people who supported that, a ghetto uprising, and the Warsaw Ghetto. And I'm thinking, why is that rocket science when you really think about it? The Nazis were in the Warsaw Ghetto, and they tried, these extremists tried to start some kind of ghetto uprising. The time for thinkers has come. People like me are thinkers, the best and brightest only. They don't like Republicans. Like, what are you going to do? Kill off half the population? Because it's like, 49 to 52, 52 to 49. What are you going to do? Kill off the half of the population? You're not serious, And I've been dealing with extremists for many years. And after 9/11, I think they thought they could make us vulnerable and work on people's apathy, and work on people's fears and disappointments with how we handled 9/11. And when we had Katrina here in Louisiana, I think they tried to take advantage of that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is my theory. I feel that they probably wanted to have another World Trade Center bombing in New Orleans, the New Orleans World Trade Center. I was standing at the street Poydras, Poydras, and Poydras, right? And then I crossed the street and I went to a bus stop, and there was a legend with a map on it, and there was a New World Trade Center. I'm like, oh my God, and I felt that PRISM facilitated. I believe that the NSA facilitated Al Qaeda. And I remember on Twitter somebody said, you may have a point there. And I also believe that the Ron Paul clan are the ones helping facilitate white supremacy. So I tell people, do not vote for Ron Paul. Because I remember in 1960, Dr. Martin Luther King said, remember, Nazi Germany was legal, quote unquote. And I'm thinking, Doctor, and I'm telling you again, remember, Nazi Germany was legal. You voted them in. They won. You voted the Nazis in. And I think in the 1960s, Dr. King was saying that, remember, Nazi Germany was legal. Hello, politicians in office, they're Nazis. They're Nazis, and back in those days. And look what we have now, helping transition, the following administration, which should have been, could have been Ron Paul and his cronies, and Ron Paul, John Paul Cusack, Ali Houston, Bono, aka Bono, David Paul Houston, Frederick J. Paul, Julian Paul Assange, and Ron Paul is very supportive of Julian Paul Assange, who is quote unquote supposedly a libertarian. I'm a Republican. The reason, on a side note, that I strayed a little bit, I've been very strong on the individual and merit since I was in college. So I was formulating my politic, okay, in college. But I was told by these people, we saw you coming a Republican. So I kind of strayed a little bit. So I'm like, you know what, maybe I'm a conservative libertarian. You know, so I started going in that direction. I go, no, and people, you know what, get back over here. You're like a Republican, you know it, you know, and but I am a Republican, and I just needed to clarify that. And so the Sacrament, they came into the United States. They tried making us more vulnerable, and I think that they planned on it. I think that the evidence is in Lafayette, Louisiana, 70501 and 70504, the University of Lafayette, Louisiana. Now these people, it's like a catch-22. You know, I was focusing on the Sacramento Downtown Project and on the San Diego Downtown Project, and they're both the same thing in different cities. And you know, and I'm like, and I ended up, I'm ending up speaking about the University of Lafayette here in their own backyard. You know, so when you start interfering with the postings online, you kind of kill yourselves every single time. You're like, they're chasing their own tail. They're you know, I always catch you, and I'm like, you know what? Booyah! Let's expose you fuckers. You know, and University of Lafayette, excuse my language, but they deserve it. And the University of Lafayette in 70504. According to demographics, it is the cheapest university to get into in the entire state of Louisiana, and it is the freaking truth. And they persecute. I have proof of this. They have a display case in the building across the street from Buchanan, the Buchanan Street, Buchanan building across the street right from it. There is a food court, and they have a display case. They have Ike's Place from Westwood. In Westwood, there is an Ike's Place with it's Islam or ISIL, and it says on there it encourages sex offenders, because on the actual menu it says feeling frisky, mozzarella sticks and jalapeno poppers. You know what? I'm Mexican and Italian, okay? And then it says Asian barbecue, and it makes reference to LGBT barbecue. You look at the sandwich on that wall, and I have it on my blog. That exact same sandwich, the picture is sitting in that display case at the University of Lafayette, Louisiana. In that display case, it also has something related to the Greek system, male Greek system, Bud Light, you know, the bars other than the more sexual references to sex offenders. And then it used to have, they took part of it down. The second time I went back, they took part of the display case down because I made a reference to it. It had a black mantle, and the black mantle was mocking, I believe, the dead. And it also has on there 520 Corinthians, which is the persecution of Christians. And in other words, they're satanic worshippers, or people who cater to Satan worship, who come to this university knowingly the paths that they've had in the past. So everyone who comes here goes to that university for a specific reason: to persecute minorities, to persecute Christians, to persecute this country, and to undermine the government. Simple as that. And see, this is what they get when they start interfering with my postings. I will come back and see how this posts online. Sylvia Lydia Morelos.